We also have Colton Haker, who was your fastest qualifier on the prologue. It is going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, we're about to get underway, so let's start.
Located deep in the Alps of
Here we go then, 10 rows of 50 riders, 500 bikes about to take on the Iron Giant. Karl Katok, the inventor of this race, is about to drop the flag. And away they go. Who is going to get the all-important hole shot down into the first corner? Colton Haker's on the inside. The orange bike of Tadej Blazusiak is in there as well. Haker just in front, but here comes Blazusiak on the right-hand side as they come up now towards the first hill. And it is Tadej Blazusiak, the 5-time winner of this race, that has got the hole shot. Jeff, it's a long race. Does it really matter that he's in front early on?
Well, maybe not for some riders, but most of these guys want to get out front, stay out of the dust, and lead this race.
So Tadej Blazusiak leading. Colton Haker is behind him in second place, but still a long, long way to go. Blazusiak with the advantage here in Erzberg.
You got a little, you can use much more.
Hey everybody, Salmaster Kelly here, your host of the Red Bull Signature Series, and allow me to welcome you to the small Austrian village Eisenerz. Now looming above it is a peak known as Erzberg, aka the Iron Giant. Eisenerz's existence stems from its location here as the oldest mine in all of Europe. Its population is 4,300 humans, but for one long weekend each year, the mine ceases operations, the town swells by tens of thousands of competitors, race teams, and of course, rabid hard enduro fans. Now the Spaniard and 2017 champion Alfredo Gomez, he is out with an injury, so all eyes are on Johnny Walker and Graham Jarvis, who have literally dominated here for the past several years. Is one of them going to be able to make that return to the top of the podium, or is this the year when the torch gets passed? A changing of the guard, if you will, from the veterans like Jarvis, Walker, or 5-time winner Tadej Blazusiak to the young guns like Billy Bolt and Manny Lettenbichler. We're going to send it back to Jack Nichols and Jeff Aaron now for the call.
Thanks, Sal. And there you can see the scale of just the start of the Iron Giant. This is row 3, heading down in towards the first right-hander and trying to scrabble for grip and get up the hill. Still another 6 rows to come after these. And it is Roland Vogel on his KTM who has managed to get the whole shot in this third group. But these guys, they're not the top guys, but they're far from amateurs.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best 150 riders out of 1,800 starters for this event. So these guys are talented riders, but they're not going to be the same as that top 50.
No, indeed. And you'll see just how they can't quite get up as quickly as the top 50. And there you can see already Martin Rathgeb running into trouble. And some of them having to come back. But here's Tadej Blazusiak, the race leader. He is at Waterpipe, the third checkpoint on this course. The Waterpipe there on the right-hand side, as Johnny Walker is in second place. And this is the first big challenge, I suppose, for the top guys.
Yeah, these guys are full throttle up these hills, and most of them seem to make pretty short work of it, but they are huge.
Yeah, we went and had a look up at it yesterday, and it's quite daunting, really, to stand on the top and look down. That was Billy Bolt in third place. Here comes Manny Lettenbichler. He is currently in fourth spot, so a good start for him as he makes his way up to the top, the 20-year-old German. But it's Tadej Blazusiak, 5 times winner of this event, retired last year, now he's back, and he's sprinting towards yet another title, but still a long way to go. If he does manage to pull it off, though, he will win a piece of the mountain. Let's go to Tina Dixon.
Thanks, Jack. And when you win an event of this caliber, you usually get a trophy and some sort of cash payout. But you want to know what you win if you win Hare Scramble? It's a rock. That's it. There's no cash payout. And this is what it looks like. Now, this rock is cut directly from the mountain. I've been told it's about 25% iron. It's incredibly heavy. I've tried to pick it up several times. But in talking to the riders, it's all about what this rock represents, all the hard work to win this event. So for them, it's about pride and proving to themselves that they have conquered the most prestigious event in hard enduro, and they have conquered the Iron Giant.
Thank you, Tina. One man trying to conquer it again is Tadej Blazusiak, the race leader, the Polish rider, as he now drops down the hill. And these descents can be Maybe not quite as challenging, but certainly as scary as the uphill parts.
Definitely, it's all loose rocks. You know, this is an iron mine, and it's like they're skating down these hills, and they've got these transfer sections. They're trying to keep pace, and they know this event's just going to get harder and harder as the day goes on.
Tadej Blazusiak was 8th on his last appearance here in 2016, did finish the race, and look at the air he's getting as he makes his way up Bathtub now. And this is on board with Billy Bolt as he comes up to the same hill. He's running in 3rd place at the moment. Let's go up with him.
Oh, look at him. He's having to drop gears because this hill's so steep.
And is that him realizing, you know, halfway up, I've got to drop the gears?
Doesn't have enough power, so he's got to kick it down a gear and keep the revs up.
This is back with Manny Lettenbichler. You'll see them just catching a bit of air here and there as well as he crests the rise, currently in 4th spot. And then behind him, we've got Wade Young, the South African, 3 times winner of the Roof of Africa, and finished 4th last year. Wade Young currently running in 5th place here. Doing a good job in these early stages. And a fellow South African following up behind in 6th place, the 19-year-old Travis Teasdale. Here he comes, one of the youngest riders in the field, and both South Africans doing very well, but we are very much in the early stages of this 20-mile course. So Tadej Blazusiak still leading. Can the 5-time champion bring home a record 6th title? You are watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series and the Styrian Mountains of Austria. It is man and machine versus the mountain here at the 24th Erzberg Rodeo Hare Scramble. And that's Tadej Blazusiak, the race leader, just coming up to the top of checkpoint 5 at 3 Kings. And he is being followed by Johnny Walker, currently in 2nd place. Billy Bolt, another British rider, is in 3rd, as Blazusiak now just tries to pick his slot, and choosing the line going down here is crucial, Jeff. He's actually almost turning around there.
Yeah, he just looks like he's being very selective about what he wants to do. He doesn't want to hit anything big on the way down, and so he took his time.
So Blazusiak is the race leader. Keep your eyes to the right. There is Johnny Walker, and then just coming up now will be the 3rd place rider, Billy Bolt. There he is, popping into view and almost going and T-boning Johnny Walker, but not quite. So those are the top 3, all right together, and the riders have been saying all weekend just how tight this race is going to be. It's amazing to see them, Jeff, so close together on the mountain.
Yeah, on these faster sections, you know, they can't really get away from each other. They're going into some harder sections coming up here, the slippery forest, and they don't want anybody to get a gap because then it'll be hard to recover.
Well, Tina Dixon is down at one of those forest sections.
Yeah, and Jack, every time I come to this mountain, I've been coming 7 years now, it has changed in some significant way, and usually it has disappeared. You have to remember that this is a working mine, and they're constantly blowing things up. So where I'm standing right now, this used to be the section known as Green Hell. In fact, right here, that used to be the switchback. It would go up, back, and it was the area that Johnny Walker had a lot of problems with. There were some major passes, but it's no longer here. Now, what is here, it's still called Green Hell, but the entrance is right behind me, and it will go straight up in the dirt. This is huge. It's really wet. It's going to be very slick, and it could be a potential game changer for the riders.
Still quite a way, though, to go before we get to Green Hell, but very much in the forest section. This is on board with Manny Lettenbichler. He's in 3rd place. He's got past Billy Bolt, and now he's trying to close in on Johnny Walker, and he goes past Johnny Walker up into 2nd place. Walker looked like he was having a few troubles there.
This POV footage is really cool. You can hear the bike just lugging. These guys are all riding 2 strokes, and they're just using the bottom end of the motor, trying to get grip. They're all using the gummy factory tires. That's what you need to get through these really slick forest sections.
You can see Tadej Blazusiak, the race leader, up in front as well. And these kind of stretches seem fairly kind of straightforward, your path. But then when you get into the woods, how are you picking where to go? And what are you looking out for to tell you where to go?
I think some of these side hills are really tricky. That's what gives these guys a hard time. And honestly, some of the footage isn't doing it justice on how hard it really is, but this has always been a difficult section at Erzberg.
If this isn't doing it justice, then I'm glad I'm not out there as they come up the hill, and you're just looking out for those little red arrows you can see on some of the trees from side to side. And there is Tadej Blazusiak now getting into a bit of trouble, turning around and then lining up, and you can see everyone you almost end up queuing to get up the trickier parts.
On some of these big hills, they just have to zigzag their way up. So they go up to a certain point where they start to get stuck, and they flip it around and then try again.
You can hear how little grip there is when you hear the revs going up like that. The wheel is just spinning, and you're not going anywhere. This is a good ride from Manny Lettenbichler. Fantastic stuff as he comes up to the top, and then another hard left. Is it easier to follow at this point than to be out in front?
Well, you got to have a little bit of a gap, because if somebody makes a mistake right in front of you, then it'll cause you to make a mistake. So you got to give them a little bit of breathing room, but not let them get away.
And there was Tadej Blazusiak on the left-hand side. Looks as though he was in trouble, and now Manny Lettenbichler is leading. Little scan at checkpoint 8 repository, and we have a new race leader in Manny Lettenbichler. But no rest for Lettenbichler, because this mountain just keeps going on, and these tricky sections don't get any easier. Jeff, you've competed here in the past, finished this race in the past. Just how tough is it?
This was one of the harder sections for me. You know, it always stays wet in the woods. I'd always seen videos and photos, and it was always just dry rocks. And so I was really surprised when we got in there, and I was pushing and huffing and puffing, trying to make my bike get through some of these sections.
Well, while the pros are up at checkpoint 8, the last 50 to make the cut are heading down towards the first corner as row 10 finally gets underway. They've been sitting down there in the baking heat for a long time, but these are amateurs who have just